on. So looks like we're good.
Looks good.
Okay. Well, hi. And guess what? I'm not alone. So I have some of my favorite people that have been in the pageant world with us for quite some time. And if you have no idea who these people are, that means you have not been around long enough. Okay? Nationally, and has all kinds of wonderful things going on. And then I have Megan Anderson with Graphique Fine Art Photography. And they might have the giggles.
Yeah,
we're all together.
Right?
When we're not working.
Exactly.
I know.
We actually get to sit on the same sofa together and chat. That does not happen.
Because in all reality, what happens is they go to Carrie and go get makeup done. Then they stop at DJ's place and get their hair done. And then they head off to Megan to get the photos done. So it kind of goes in this loop. They just don't ever see each other all together. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, we could be the same person because we're never in the same place at the same time.
Ooh.
Proof they're not.
That's what I was just going to say. Proof
We
we're
look
not
so
the
much
same
alike.
person.
It's the hair.
Right?
Well, here's my fun story with DJ is I actually went to the salon on the final date of the pageant at 5 in the morning to get my hair done for that night's pageant. And I remember walking out, and it was hard as a rock because I was worried it was going to fall. And you could knock it on the side. And I went, nope, it's staying. And that hair was perfection all the way through the evening pageant.
It didn't move.
Nope, it didn't.
It did not move.
And he gave me the desired look. I walked in and I said, I want to look like Audrey Hepburn. And it just so happened when I got to rehearsals that morning, Sherry Ingstrom walked up and went, do you know you look like Audrey Hepburn? And I went, done.
Check.
Yes, DJ, done. Yes. So what I thought we would do is talk about some of the behind the scenes things that happen that help make you successful in the pageant. We don't, if you've ever watched my video about carpool and picking up my kiddos in an evening gown and a crown, we don't look all dolled up 24/7. But when we do get dolled up, these are the masters that make it happen, and they each have their specialty. And so I'm going to start with Megan on the end. And Megan is our photographer. She's been with us
2005.
2005. And actually, I met Megan before she became in my pageant world. And so what has been your favorite part about being the official photographer for the pageant?
I love meeting all the women. I'm telling you, it's so much fun having them come in and get to spend time and do this session. I'm like super invested when the pageant actually happens, and then they just blossom and flower, and you can just see it on their faces when they're on stage. They are totally just like in their element, and it is absolutely incredible to see that. And making the friends that I've made, these people here, I would not know them if I wasn't involved. And then friends I've made with all the girls, and it's so much fun.
So do you think there's, what is one of your favorite stories of somebody coming into the studio and it just made an impact on you by the time they left?
Oh my gosh, I'm not even sure.
Is this a pageant?
Which one?
I'll get back to you.
Are we?
Yeah. Right? Exactly. It's my top 5 question. No.
World peace.
No, I have to say, without really obviously giving it much thought, one of my most impactful, I feel like, was Gretchen Cadillac. She was like, she came in and, did not feel great about herself. She just was like, I'm doing this to do something special, and I'm just so nervous, and I don't know what to expect, and I just don't know anything about what's happening. And she came in, and we just had this most amazing session, this amazing connection. She was a delight. She could not have been sweeter, and she just was so grateful. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I look like this. I can't believe this is me. And it is. That's just it. That's what kills me. It is you. It is her. There we go.
We're back.
Whoop, we're back. That's my
Did you miss
bonus. I know. If you're watching, can you actually make sure that you can hear us? And if you can hear us, can you just put a hi or some sort of comment down below so that
Or
we know
thumbs
it's
up.
working? It looks like my daughter was calling, so I want to make sure that we didn't totally lose everybody. So feel free to post where you're from
Looks
and
like-
that. Hey.
Hey, Bree.
Hey,
I can
hey.
kind of read that. Hey, Lisa.
Okay,
can.
there's humans.
I can.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Hi,
See, I'm trying to
Tanya.
read them.
I'm trying to.
Oh,
I'm trying
Lisa!
to.
Oh, hi, Lisa!
And
There's
Mickey
Bree.
Myers.
okay, so I just wanted to make sure because as we're sitting here on my screen, you can see my children are calling and messages are coming up, and so
That's awesome.
Life is for the living.
oh no.
Right.
So let's hop over to Carrie and let's play footsie with DJ. And so, Carrie, how'd you get involved in the pageant?
Oh, that's a long story. Not really. That's thanks to Miss Christina Sasha, we can say. As she likes to claim that she dragged me into pageantry kicking and screaming. Because she actually reached out to one of my agents at one point and said, do you have somebody that can do amazing stage makeup? And can I hire her? And they called me and I said, competition? Oh, I know what pageants are about. Let's do this. This is a lot of fun. So, Christine, it's really Christina's fault. But, I mean, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
And that's the piece about it, is
Yeah.
you start to make those friendships, and then you go, oh, wow,
Yeah.
this really is about
Yeah.
a bunch of married women stepping out of their comfort
Oh, yeah.
zone. And
Yeah.
when you start putting all the pieces together, and they walk out and they have that new pep in their step, or they go, oh, my gosh, is that me? That's a really neat feeling.
Oh, it's so rewarding from
Yeah.
my end. Because we work on models, you see them, it's in and out. You work on TV, you work on celebrities, you see them, you never see them again. You might see them on TV, but you don't have that relationship. And in pageants, I really get to know people and get to develop a relationship. And then I might not even see them for a year, but when I see them, they've escalated everything in their life to compete again, and they're jazzed and they're excited, and
Yep.
then they're calling me to tweeze their daughter's brows, and it just, you know what?
Homecoming.
It feels like a big,
Right.
great family, and you know, everybody always asks me, especially in the modeling world compared to pageantry, they're like, "How do you do those?" And I'm like, "Oh, you haven't been around the right pageants,
Right. Or the right.
Exactly.
The right.
the right people."
Yes.
I mean, you know, it's
I think that's with any business.
Right.
You know,
Truly.
you have good lawyers,
Yeah.
you have not so
Yeah.
good lawyers.
Right.
You
Yeah.
have, you know, and that's
Yeah.
where you have to find the right people doing
Well,
amazing things.
Yeah.
Anybody
Exactly.
can go get educated. The thing about our industry, it's an eye. That woman there has one of the most photography eyes that I've ever worked with.
okay.
Yeah.
This woman has the makeup eye, and I
Yeah,
have
baby.
the eye for the hair.
Yep.
So when us three get together, it's really quite amazing just ourselves. We get excited just working with ourselves.
Yeah.
And then the poor model, whoever we get them shaped and mold. It's
Think
just
about
amazing.
Jessica.
Yes.
Jessica photos.
It's so fun because I know if somebody has gone to these two people before they come to me, if you do that, you are going to be ready. I know you are going to be on your A game. And I just drive it home.
And I know the same
It's-
thing. When they
yeah.
go to you, I'm like, breathe.
I
That lighting is going to capture this perfectly.
know. Right?
Yes.
You just know.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
It's a good symbiotic
Right.
relationship.
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
a good?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So perfect, DJ. So tell me, how did you get involved in the first place? Because I know you have a queen in your history, and it's
Oh.
not me.
Well,
Who
no,
brought you in?
No, actually, this was 23 years ago. One of my clients competed and asked me to style her hair backstage. And I went, and I really just was in an endorphin high of seeing what this did for married women. Being a hairdresser, women get lost in their marriage and their children and the sports and life and just whatever. And they just, all of a sudden, they'll look in the mirror and they'll be facing a depression. They don't know what's wrong. And this pageant really makes these women step back. And there's nothing else out there for women or people to step back and really evaluate where you stand emotionally, physically, financially, with your kids, your husband, and your friends. So for 23 years now, I have been a part of seeing how many people get crowned. I've got to see the individual growth One of my biggest emotional stories was in my young judgmental days yesterday. So, I was
The dish is coming.
Honey.
I'm getting ready to press off. So.
No. I was sitting there, and this was years before you even.
There was no such thing.
So there was this lady that was up on stage, and you could just tell she tried her best, but she was not quite at the caliber. And so I felt sorry for her. I didn't know her story. And I heard other people commenting about her on stage. And it really affected me. And so then I found out her story, because every girl on stage has a story.
Yes.
And I found out that her parents were killed when she was a little girl and raised in the foster system. And nobody ever taught her how to do hair, makeup, or anything. And so she just signed in just to do that. She wasn't there to win. Her winning was learning how to be a sister friend to another girl. So it's not the crown, it's the journey to the stage. And then one person gets the crown, but everyone's a winner. And we get to be a part of it.
Yep.
And I think that goes back to when you see Megan and you get your headshots done with Megan, it marks that season in your life.
Right.
And a good portion of the time, the family comes in and takes pictures with you. The husband takes picture, and you'll always have them. They become, pieces of art on your wall. And they always, it's the interesting thing that I find that girls can compete 5 years ago, but if I say post your favorite picture, it's of Megan's work from the pageant. And that's key when I say.
Well, her photo has won more
my gosh.
photo contests in every pageant system. It's in. She has that eye. There's just. I've worked with many different photographers in this industry, and they don't know how to work the model and guide the model. They're just click, 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 and expect the model. Where she knows how to take the stranger off the street and
But we can be moms, too.
put the angle,
that's
put the
true.
angle, the light, and everything where it's still you. It
Yes.
really is you.
Well, because majority of the ladies that compete have never done a pageant in their life.
Right.
They have not been models in
And
their
they
life.
only know the
So this is-
stereotype.
Right. And so I think that relationship, to be able to take a normal person, per se, and put her behind the camera, most people, it makes my heart beat.
Yeah.
That I'm like,
Exactly.
uh-oh, now it's time to cheese.
Oh,
And you don't know what to do. And so then that's the beautiful piece with Megan, is she walks you through it, so you're like, oh, I am doing it right, and I am getting the product. But the thing is, you can't show up to Megan looking like you just did carpool.
No.
Yep.
Because you don't get the right desired result.
No,
Exactly,
and you have
exactly.
to you
Has
have
to
to
be-
layer the hair for outfits. A hairdo should be changed with every outfit change. If it's a part, if it's a movement, or whatever, everything needs to evolve through the photography session. And that's what's so great. You need to sit down and evolve your outfits, your makeup, your hair. So then that way, when it's photograph time, Megan knows how to walk you through it. So it's choreographed. A photo shoot is really dancing in front of the camera.
Yep. And it's a team effort.
And she needs to sit down with you, so that way the choreography is the best for you.
Yep.
So that way you are you.
It doesn't
so many
start-
times they don't feel like themselves because they weren't themselves. They were.
True.
And it doesn't start just when you come in front of the camera. There's so much that goes into it ahead of time. Again, the planning conference where we talk about what you want, what looks you like, that kind of thing. That's how we get you what you want. And then, of course, going to the masters here to make sure that the makeup and the hair support what it is that you are looking for and the image that you want to portray. It's all of our jobs to make you look the way you want to look, and to make you happy and feel good about yourself. And that's what we do as a team. It's really a team
It's
effort.
really fun.
So, like, if somebody were interested in coming to you to do some headshots, what do they need to do to find you?
Well, I am on the internet. I'm on Facebook. My website is www.graphiquephoto.com, which is a great place to find me. If you have a pageant book, I'm in the pageant book. I'm in the sponsor section. I'm there. You could Google Megan Anderson or Google Graphique, and I will come up.
Or call me.
Or
'cause
call
I'll
Em.
tell you.
Yeah. Or if you've already booked hair and makeup, they'll tell you.
Exactly.
And if you come to me and you need hair and makeup, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
And actually, their contact information is on my website as well, under Friends of Graphique.
Cool. And so I'm going to switch gears to makeup for a little
Yep.
bit. So everyone's a makeup artist.
Yeah.
Right.
A hairdresser too.
I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you they aren't. I'm here
And
to tell you
Pinterest
they
has
aren't.
really been fun.
So
Guys.
what services do you, if someone has, if someone does not have a budget,
Right.
what can they do to come see you to get some sort of guidance? And if they do have a budget to hire you, pageant weekend and headshot weekend, kind of give us an overview of what you do.
So basically, there's a bunch you can do. And you know what? There are a lot of makeup artists, and a lot of people have relationships with makeup artists, and I never want to step on any of those toes. My training is kind of all over the board, because I'm kind of all encompassing from fashion to models to editorial to, of course, here we are, a pageant.
Right.
And there are small differences. So even if you do excel at doing your own makeup, I do a 1 hour touch-based session, which is very reasonable. You can come in and show me what you're doing, and I'll put small little adjustments on it. That will help you with confidence on the pageant weekend, because the reality is that's what this is about. It's about confidence. I do one-on-one lessons, which are 3 hour lessons. It's a little bit more of an investment, but again, it's something you're going to carry forever. One of my really great friends just recently called me and was like, everybody needs this, because she was in New York City getting ready to walk on the stock exchange with another friend of hers, and that friend hired a makeup artist, and the makeup artist in New York City turned to her, it was Katie, turned to Katie and said, oh my God, you look flawless. And she's like, that's because my girl gave me a lesson 7 years ago, and here are my notes, and I'm carrying them with me. So, that's a little bit more of an investment, but
well worth
it's
it.
personalized.
Well worth it.
You're not just going to a
Investing in
counter
you.
and getting sold product. I will run you around town. I will tell you, go to Walgreens and pick this up, spend a little bit more money here. There's ways to cheapen out. I'm that girl. I do it myself. You'll see me at TJ Maxx on my days off. Anyways,
shout out to TJ Maxx. Did you want to sponsor TJ Maxx? We're good. Actually, we've done a lot of TJ Maxx
in this group.
trips.
Or I also have the ultimate package is having myself and my team work with you throughout the week. That's a little bit more of an investment. That takes the pressure off. I only take a certain number of people. I do book up for that. I have very qualified people with me that run my team. We schedule everybody. Everybody gets everything. It is very kind of intense, and it's great for the people that love to be part of the fun and the chaos and be extra looked after.
Yeah.
But even if you take a lesson from me, you can come in during pageant weekend and we will give you a touch up and a look over. I'm very particular about what I do, because if anything walks out my door, it is my reputation. Bottom line, that's all I live for.
You're our billboards.
It truly is. So I have a lot of opportunities. So for somebody that's on a budget, I mean, you don't have to, freak out about
And
it.
that's the beautiful piece, is there are resources throughout, and you just have to figure out what options.
I mean, in the 23 years, we do have girls that have done fundraisers, and they have not done one out-of-pocket penny, and they've hired Carrie, me, Megan, and bought the dress of their dreams. So there's ways of doing it. You just have to be creative. And that's what's interesting, is to see the creativity within the girls. It's to drive the...
Totally, and hair and makeup doesn't always seal the deal on stage.
No,
but here's the deal.
It can break the deal.
It can break the deal if it's done poorly. It can break the deal if you're compromised in your confidence throughout that weekend. You want to walk out and you want to be your best. You don't want to be thinking, did I glue this eyelash on straight?
Well, and the other thing...
Am I wearing too much blush?
The other thing that I've realized, and this is what I've called, there's psychic vampires. There's artists...
Woo, we're getting spiritual over here.
There's artists out there that when you're working with them, they drain you. It's all about them. And so that's what you have to be careful about, because we are working with energy. Yep. So you're getting ready to go on stage, and if you're dealing with a makeup artist that zaps your energy, then you're feeling insecure. You're walking out and stuff like this with Carrie. You leave laughing. I
Oh, you better be.
guarantee.
It's a three-ring circus. Bring no drama into my world. It's going out the back door.
No.
You'll be in the bathroom if you have an attitude.
Exactly. I think that piece needs to be addressed only because I think people watch too many reality shows
Totally,
and
yes.
Oh, yes.
expect this cattiness
No.
behind stage.
Never.
Yep.
23 years, I've never, ever seen a gown ripped, cut, slapped,
Any
makeup,
sabotage.
nothing.
No
I've had a
sabotage.
few drama queens that swore there were bed bugs in their bed, probably, or something like that.
Hey,
But
that happened to me one
I
time.
know. We know.
Hey, who are you talking about, DJ?
We know. They know who we're talking about. They're listening. No.
But the bottom line is you want to surround yourself with people that are going to bring out the best in you.
Right.
And have your
And that
back.
they're going to fuel you, they're going to relax you, and that you do leave with a pep in your step.
Right.
And choose wisely, because it does affect what you're up to. And when it's actually back to what Gretchen Cadillac came up with is she, after the pageant, went through her whole closet and she took out every single thing that no longer felt like Gretchen. And she says, I'm done. I am going to wear things that make me feel and look beautiful. And that's 100% what she did. And you have
Testimony of pageants.
It's
When do we
Yep.
step back and evaluate ourselves like that?
Exactly.
Well, you
it's like you
don't.
clean your house when you have guests.
Yes, and
We're
we
cleaning our
just
house.
start steamrolling, and life will steamroll us. And now it's time, and that's why a lot of ladies participate, is to do something totally out of their normal. Most ladies that compete have never done a pageant in their life, so this is different. And then all of a sudden, they start getting their hair cut and colored ahead of time, and then they start enjoying looking put together. They take a lesson from Carrie, and next thing you know, they're doing other things, but they know exactly what to wear and how to wear their makeup for these events. Or if there's a gala, they know exactly what to do, and that's the piece about it, is it all comes full circle to bettering yourself.
And we see that. We see the growth within it, and we grow through the growth.
We do.
Very slow.
Oh my. I tell you, I am video illiterate.
Well, you're more illiterate than I am.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so DJ, what would be one thing that you would give somebody, if kind of tell them how do you determine what hairstyle they should wear with their evening gown?
The key about the evening gown is really, and this is really my claim to fame. For 12 years, I flew around the world teaching hairdressers how to style hair, evening gown hair. So it's really the gown. You want to match it all together. You want like I always tell them, you want to find one word to describe your gown, and that word should be used to describe your hair. If your gown's flowy, then your hair should be flowy. If it's structured, you should have structure. And so
I didn't either.
Oh my God, we just
I
learned
know.
something today.
I know.
so in that
This is
way,
amazing.
Dang.
Tall and
that-
thin?
Yeah.
Tall and thin.
exactly. So
That's awesome.
That's what you want to do, is try to
That's
break down
awesome.
your dress into one word. So then that way, and if it's two words, you can have a structured, flowy hairdo. And that's what's so fun about designing. I always love my clients to bring in photos of things that they like, to give me ideas.
Me too.
The sad part is too many people are bringing in photos and telling me to do this. And it's taken all the artistic value out of communicating and building
Hiring an
that
expert.
relationship with the client. So don't deprive yourself of a relationship with us
Right.
with bringing photos in and demanding that look. When
We're getting you guys, we're getting plugged in here.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, it was sneaky, and now it's not.
Yeah,
We're
sorry.
back.
Did you miss us? Sorry.
Oh my gosh. Seriously.
Sorry.
No, that's amazing. Honestly, I didn't know you said that. You asked for
I
the
know.
word.
Yeah, you want a couple of words to describe the
great.
gown.
I know. It's
And
genius.
then
That's why
you
DJ's
just-
a genius.
You go from there from the gown. So that way You don't want a big old Cha-Cha-Mama hairdo on a big old Audrey Hepburn gown.
Well, and not only that, if they haven't gotten the gown yet, that does, I mean, you're still the expert, and you still will be able to look at somebody and say, this is what I recommend for you.
Well, and this is where you guys need to really do your research and ask. We have resources up the wazoo of what gown makes your hips look better, what, posing,
I have
how
an
to
opinion on
angle your
everything, just ask my
body
husband.
to bring out
He'll tell you.
features, to minimize features.
Yep.
We gotcha. We'll
That's
be there
right.
for you.
What I think is amazing about DJ that I've noticed in all the pageantry and stage competitions I've seen, he really gets the balance and the structure based on somebody's body too.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So he literally has
just
said,
hair.
you know what, she's a little broader on the shoulders. Let's, throw this over to one side and cut that down. And honestly, even in my experience from print and being around all these amazing hairstylists in the world, you come back and I see your craft with this stage and I'm just blown away because every time you nail it. You look at the side of the dress. You look at if the updo is lifting them, like I'm always concerned about bulky shoulders. So if I had my hair back and lifted, obviously my shoulders are going to tone down. So those are the things that a common eye isn't going to see that you see, because when you're walking on stage, it's 360.
Yep. That's right. That's right.
She
That's right.
said 360.
Yes.
Yep.
It's all angles. Thank you.
Yeah.
That is the absolute truth.
All right, Miss Megan. If somebody was debating whether to participate in the pageant, what would you say to them? Just tell them, hop in.
Stop thinking and go. I honestly, I feel like if you're debating, then that means that you're the right person for it.
Agreed.
Honestly, you're only going to come out of it a better person. You're going to make friends. You're going to have fun. You'll
be
feel
our friend.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, I did. I didn't get a
little late
sticker
for that
though.
question.
I mailed it in. Like you drop off a
day
mail
off.
thing. I didn't get a sticker.
I didn't either.
There was no one standing there giving me a sticker at the little box.
But yeah, I would just say to do it. I feel like, you're going to come out of it. You're going to have so much fun. It's a total blast. You meet wonderful people. There's just not a downside. There just isn't. There just isn't.
And it's a week. I say week.
It's a week.
It's a week. Sorry, it's a week.
It's,
but I mean, it's all about you.
Wednesday.
I mean, if I could take a week and make it all about me,
I know, right?
Well, because
I know. And Emily would kill me if I did
we
it.
typically don't.
No.
We
No.
are willing to do tournaments for our kids.
Yes.
We're willing to fly out and
Yes.
visit.
Yes.
We'll set you in college and do all these things. But this is the one time I'm going to tell you, schedule yourself to be back on your to-do list.
Yeah, and tell your family, this is my sporting event.
Yes.
I
And
go to
tell
all
your
your
boss.
events and do all
And
that
tell your
stuff.
boss too,
Yes.
for the people that don't have
Yep.
kids and family.
That's
and
right.
you're
Yes.
the what is it, Ms. Division? What is the new
Yes,
division?
the
I mean,
Ms.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of people that literally just dedicate themselves to work nonstop,
Right.
and then they look
Yes.
in the mirror and they have to go to an
Yeah.
event, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I did
What
that
happened?
this weekend when I went to his party." I'm like, "What? How am I
What
gonna
happened?
how am I gonna pull this together?"
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
imagine taking a week and really just investing in yourself. You're gonna
Yep.
come out just a little more polished in life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Well,
Exactly.
and I always say, like, when my clients come in and they say they're going to be competing in a pageant, I always tell them to make sure they inform their friends and be prepared of the growth that they're going to be going through. Because it's astronomical, because you're around anywhere from 30 to 70 women that have a story.
Yep.
And that's what's amazing is everybody has a story. Everybody has a platform.
That's one of the things I always say about your pageant women, about your contestants. When I tell people, they're like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm a photographer." And they'll say, "Well, what kind of photography do you do?" And I'm like, "Well, pageants." And I say, "But hold your judgment, because this particular pageant, I mean, these women, they're wives, they're mothers, they've got careers, and they've got, they know who they are as people." And so they're not all wrapped up in, just here. But that's also the other side, is that they're so wrapped up in all these other things that they're not giving enough to here.
Right.
And this is that opportunity.
Well,
But
and a lot of the
There's
nice,
so many
the
wonderful women.
sad but nice quality, however you want to word it, is a lot of the platforms that these married
Yes.
women are a part of
Yeah.
has to deal with their own personal
Oh,
life.
yeah.
Battles.
Where
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
it's a teen
Issues.
or a miss pageant, they're usually picking a corporation that's near and dear to their heart.
Sure.
But we have how many queens that have had husbands have had heart attacks. We have a director that had children separated. We've had so many different
Yep.
issues.
Illnesses, things like that you're not going to get. Yeah.
Yep.
Food allergies.
Or somebody lost a lot of weight and they
Oh,
want to
the
they want
platform,
to
yep.
and they want to go in and celebrate that. What better way? What
Right.
better way?
So
To say, "Look who I am now."
Yep. So that's the married women platforms are really
amazing.
powerful.
Yep.
And I think that's one thing that we really do focus in on is knowing that everyone has a story.
Yep.
And we tend to hold our story right here in our hands. And this platform or this pageant is your opportunity to take that story and hand it to other people so that they can grow,
Yep.
so that you can do something different with it. Because if you hold your story so
Well,
close
it's
to your
safe
heart,
too. It's
Yes,
a
it
safe.
does.
It's a safe place for women to.
Because
open.
because
That's
you're not
what's
the only one
problem
that's
is
doing it.
We're always
Yeah.
just holding it here. That I
Yes.
think pageant weekend, you really see the women giving an opening, and they're in a safe place.
and the cool part is once you share that story, then you have free hands to help
Yes.
others.
Right.
It's
Yay.
key. It's
Yep.
key. It's key.
That's so sparkly and beautiful. And
Yes.
And world peace. I mean,
Exactly.
It's not a pageant without world
did you
peace.
learn
Right.
sage
And our-
in here before?
and what is
No.
our favorite day? April 20, whatever it is. What is Miss
Runway roadshow.
Congeniality? She says, "What's your favorite day?"
June 25th.
April
There it
19th.
is.
April 19th is my
Because
birthday.
it's not too long and it's not
It's not
too
too
cold.
Oh, it's that
Which is-
one.
yes,
It's from that
yeah,
one.
Which
I
is
don't know. I
hilarious
need to
because
rewatch that
that's
movie.
virtually my birthday.
Is
You
it?
just-
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that's
so
so
forgetting
funny.
your birthday.
That's
Awesome.
right. It's
All
so
right,
funny.
so let me do this. Anyone have a question or anything that you want me to ask before my 3 favorite people leave today? All right.
Valerie Daly.
Hey, Miss Valerie. Hey,
Everybody's
guys.
Nikki Myers.
Everybody's there.
Yep,
Hey, Miss
yep, yep.
Nikki. Hey, Miss Rhonda.
Debbie Moore.
How is Mrs. Colorado America messaging you?
I don't know. Well, I like it. No, there's actually 4 or 5 of us. You think I do this job solo? I don't.
You do
I
a lot
have
of
many.
DJ, do hair
very-
extensions change and up to? Yes.
Ooh.
Oh my God, that's a really
Oh,
good.
this is a great question.
This is a really,
That's a great
really good
question.
question
Info.
on it. You have to really be careful. It depends on the type of extensions that you're putting in. A lot of the pageants, which I do a rental program with some of the extensions because they're such an investment, and you're only doing it for a weekend. So you want to be careful. If you're doing clip-ins, you have to be careful where you clip them in to create the updo because of density of the clip. So you have to study the face where you want the density. The other thing is if you do fusion or attachment extensions, you have to be careful because you can't do a tight ponytail. Tape extensions, you can't do tight ponytails too, so it'd be hard to do
Interesting.
updos with tape extensions because it's a thick
And then it will flip and you would see it, right? Is that what you're saying?
So
Okay.
not
Gotcha.
unless they're like 2-3 weeks old, you can twist them a little bit.
Oh,
so
yeah,
th-
so
see,
they're
there's
if
where
they're lower place.
right, and this is where it's real important for me to work with you girls, so that way financially, there's been a
We
few
can find a
headaches where
solution.
I get these extensions and then you can't back them because there's extensions there
Yeah.
and you can't get volume.
Right. And so I guess that does speak to, it's just like skincare.
Right.
You need
Yeah.
to start now.
But,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
just so you ladies know, you don't have to grow your hair out to have pageant hair. I mean, we do hair extensions. I do professional ballroom dancing. I made this clip-in updo for this lady so she doesn't have to grow her hair out. So there's ways of doing extension updos without going the $3,000 set. But if you want to pay me $3,000, I'll be glad to do
Well,
it.
you don't. Also, you don't need to have long hair to win. Hey, Nikki, we see
Right?
you here.
Exactly. Exactly.
Or you
How
don't
long is
even
your
need
hair?
it. No.
Yeah. We're short hair girls.
Oh,
so I
this
mean,
is
you don't
good.
have to. You don't have to have long hair.
Carrie, can you make Nikki look like Kim Kardashian? Can you make
Okay, Nikki, this is for you. Are you Kim Kardashian?
Ah, there you go.
No, I mean, the reality, that's a great question. Because everybody,
that.
right now in this day and age, everybody's like, I want to be Kim Kardashian. Can I have
Yes.
that much contour? Can I have that big of an eyebrow? Can I have that much lip? there's a lot going on there. I do contour.
Yes.
I do contour for stage, but realistically, you should look like yourself. If you walk out and you have this much foundation where I can see it, and I'm not gonna say I haven't ever seen some of those people in person, because I have, and I wanted to take a little knife and buff it out, because makeup on Instagram and on YouTube looks completely different than it does in person. And although that might be beautiful, it's not going to be beautiful when you walk into an interview and you're white and you're brown and you're kind of like
stage
racing
lights.
striped.
Yeah.
Stage lights. We witnessed a girl lose because her hair was so blonde it turned gray on
Oh, that
stage.
happens all the time.
With the gel lights, you have to be
Same with
really
makeup.
careful
Yep.
with the gel lights, and we're experienced with stage lighting, so that helps.
Well, that happens with lashes a lot. If your lashes are actually too big, stage lights hit over the top, and then all of a sudden you have this nice dark cast. So they
Or
have to be
they have-
layered.
Or they leave a weird shadow that covers part of their face, and you're like, what is wrong with her makeup? It looks like they've smudged their makeup, but
too,
it's not.
too
It's a
thick
shadow.
and too dense of a lash. So
Yes,
Yep.
because you got to remember, stage lighting on Saturday night is coming from
above.
above,
Overhead
straight
lighting.
down, and it's a whitewash is the best way to put it. It's just full white. Prelims is a totally different lighting,
It's straight
and
on.
it's coming straight on this way. So
In interview too. I mean,
an
it's
interview,
everything's
you're
a
6
little
feet
different.
from them, so you need to look naturally beautiful,
Yep.
but still
Exactly.
glamorous.
Yep.
Right.
You know, it's
But
not
Kim
being aggressive.
Kardashian is already, that job's already taken.
Yeah.
Way to sum that one
Never
up.
go back, only forward. Next. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm
that-
not sure. Nikki, I don't know how to see any other comments except the ones that are up there. Oh my goodness. Where are you, Nikki?
Boo.
What did she say?
She said boo.
Oh, they're coming from the top. I don't know.
Nikki, we can talk about this. Filler, you
Nikki
know.
is my person that makes my life go well. All right, guys. If you want to find each one of them individually, of course, you can contact me, and I know how to get a hold of each of them. You can search. They are linked on actually the post below this.
Yeah, the
I
tags,
personally tagged each one of them so you can find them. When you watch this in replay, if you guys can just post more questions on there, and I will send them directly, and maybe we'll have another session to answer questions in the future.
Lisa.
Oh, Miss Lisa Henry, we miss you.
Oh, I know.
All right, my friends, thanks for watching, and have a great night.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Good night.
Bye. 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 Oh, shoot, there's a button.